Good morning and welcome to the Frontiers of Knowledge segment of Dr. Lamba's Awakening Call. Can you imagine the mussels that you eat with joy are in fact super filters? They are doing the job of cleaning up the oceans. And as a matter of fact, this information, which has been just revealed, shows that they are the bioindicators of the health of the seas, lakes, and rivers. Like canaries, the birds which are taken to the coal mines to find out the coal dust and allergens, mussels are capable of cleaning up microplastics, pesticides, and other pollutants. And one single mussel can clean up to 25 liters of water a day. Now, the scientists say that this is an excellent thing because people can start keeping mussels at home and use these to clean their drinking water. They don't have to go in for expensive filters which need to be changed. Keep mussels, let them clean the water, and when you want fresh mussel to eat, pick them up and eat them. As a matter of fact, the seafood lovers who love mussels for its earthly taste and succulent flesh are unaware that the flesh of the mussel has been made because of the transmutation of the pollutants into a nutritious diet. What they say is they are work like a vacuum. They hover on the surface of the water, take tiny plankton for nourishment along with microplastics and pesticides, and make the water clean. Now, this is something which, as I said, a bioindicator of the oceans when we are crying hoarse that the oceans are being cluttered with plastic. The best is to ensure that mussels are allowed to grow. Their catch should be limited, as is the case with the whales. And this job has been done by Tara Ocean Foundation of France. They are using mussels to gauge the health of the estuaries near Thames, Elba, and Seine River. These three. They place the mussels in the fish trap, submerged into water, where the chemicals are in plenty. And it was found that the water, which was one of the most polluted ones in these estuaries, and Thames is a dirty river, everybody knows it. The researchers found that water to be absolutely clean, fit for drinking purposes, fit for human consumption. So, the bivalves of the nature, in the shape of mussels, are cleaning up the ocean. And this again proves what we have been saying, that nature itself has a way of keeping balance. We may not be aware of it. And one day I plan to show how all our inventions basically are dependent on nature. All the discoveries and most of the, because they are based on nature. Either they are derived from nature indirectly, or they are based on nature. And it's not only that. I have been talking about the dairy industry, the cows and the buffalo and the goats, to be the major contributors to the environmental pollution. And people ultimately have to accept it, and they have accepted it. So, what they have done is now that scientists agree that The cows and the buffaloes and the goats, these only three, contribute 14% to the pollution. Methane produced by these animals is responsible. So what they have done is they say, okay, since this is a major part and man cannot play a major role, human beings, so they took on themselves to rectify the nature's fault according to them. They say that it's the gut microbes in the cows that are responsible for methane. So they have started a research project and the results are out now. They looked at more than 1,000 cows in Europe and they found that a large portion of their gut bacteria was responsible for methane production, which it is. So they have started inoculating them. Like the vaccines in plague and others, so inoculation, smallpox. So they started inoculating the calves, the young calves, with targeted probiotics. And the result was that the mix of microbes was altered and the volume of methane produced was reduced appreciably. According to one scientist, in 3 cases, the volume of methane production reduced by 90%, but overall the reduction was between 65 to 70%, which is quite sizable. Because even 50% reduction would go a long way. You don't have to take the cars off the roads. What they say is, according to scientists, that the gas-causing bacteria in the cow's digestive system is linked to the genetic makeup. And longer term, this could mean more problematic microbes can be eliminated by selective breeding. So genetic breeding, selective breeding, altering the genes of the cows would enable them to reduce the methane production. But now there's another thing to be seen. In case the methane is not produced, which is good for the climate, would it alter the quality of the meat and the cow in any way? Because there are two things. Either the methane is not produced or the methane is neutralized. By neutralizing, it means either is retained in the body or mixes with the body. If it's retained, if it's eliminated, fine. But if it's retained and mixes with the milk and with the meat, then the result can be bad. So this research is good, but it's half good. Excuse me, please. Just a So the selective breeding and the genetic modification of the cows would enable the scientists to protect the environment to a certain extent, may not be fully. And now comes another thing. The biggest problem aging has is Parkinson's, dementia, Alzheimer's. And now comes the contribution of artificial intelligence. The research which has been done and data that has been released in the Science Today journal, according to them, that AI would replace the diagnostics, which now there is no clear diagnosis, we can detect the onset of Alzheimer's. And according to the scientists, if we use artificial intelligence, we can detect Alzheimer's diseases 5 years before it sets. They say it's exactly the same process, the way Siri learns from your voice or the Google speaker learns from your voice. Facebook can predict the videos that you like. So artificial intelligence would use logarithms that scan the retina of your eye and predict sight loss, and then they'll study the sequence of genomes of the entire neurons. So the push for multi-layer clustering, that's what they call it. They would be able to detect Alzheimer before it starts affecting the human being. And this study has been done by a Alzheimer's Disease Neuroimaging Initiative. They have studied 562 people, and this study was started about 8 years back. The brain scans of the people have seen that the rate of atrophy in the brain is much more in some cases. So the full findings, which were published recently, show that it's possible that the future of algorithms could help the doctors identify Alzheimer. And the period they say is 5 years because the root of Alzheimer starts sprouting in the brain, and it takes 5 years for that full bloom of that plant. They say Alzheimer is like a plant which strangulates the nerve cells, the nerves of the brain, and people slide into that. So this is a good thing, and it will be a relief. And now comes artificial intelligence, which can help fight crime. They have started building a fridge that spies on you. Actually, a smart fridge the purpose was that it shall be connected to Internet of Things, IoT. So it is equipped with a camera. You go to the shopping mall, you look at your camera, view the contents in your fridge on your smartphone, and find out what is lacking, what is in short supply. But the police in the Australian state of Queensland have started harnessing this technology to spy on suspects. According to the police commissioner, a smart fridge can be turned into a listening device. So there's a camera is there, a mic should also be fitted, and it shall be controlled by the ears, and suppose some thieves and dacoits or murderers or terrorists are planning something that will be listened to and used. And he was asking the government to give permission to the police to install this listening device in the fridges before they are sold. Now this raises one question, that is privacy. So the question is privacy more important than security and safety or not? So this ethical question aside, this is a new development of IoT, Internet of Things, which while enhances your capabilities, also puts you at risk. And that risk can be at times very dangerous. This development is definitely viewed with concern by the custodians of privacy, who says that they must not allow such an action by the police, because although terrorists might be caught, some innocent people would suffer. But do they really suffer if the innocent people have nothing to hide? Why should they bother? I, for one, am firmly of the opinion that the police should be given this right so that the evil intents of the wrongdoers are foiled in time. And as far as the privacy is concerned, that there can be ways and means to ensure that the privacy or the personal things are protected by the police and are not leaked out. But the benefit of IoT must be taken by the law and order agencies, especially when you can foil the attacks by the terrorists, which cause a lot of trouble. So this was the new development, limited in way, but not the ultimate. And the march continues. See you next week. Thank you.